Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Where Life Happens podcast. I'm Steve Herron, your host. I am a local real estate agent based in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and I have a very, very special guest on today, a dear friend of mine named Marsha Clemons. She is a local real estate agent down in the Gulf Coast region of Alabama. That is our home state, and she is having a blast helping out investors and buyers and sellers down there in the beautiful white sandy beaches of Orange Beach and Gulf Shores. Marsha, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for asking. I'm excited to be here.
Well,
Always talking to you, so
well, well, you honor me because our friendship goes so far back, and I counted it was at least the year 2000, maybe 1999 when we first met. Those days were quite different from where you and I are now.
So different.
Yeah. So we met when we were both in radio sales at the local Christian radio station in Florence, Alabama, the Renaissance City. Of course, Northwest Alabama and Muscle Shoals, where we both herald from. That is the hit recording capital of the world.
Yes.
Not everyone knows that, but a lot of people do, don't they?
They do. And especially after the Netflix thing they did on Shoals, that kind of opened a lot of people's eyes.
They did a phenomenal job on that documentary, showcasing Fame Studios and all the great talent that had recorded in that town over the past 5 decades.
Fun fact, my dad built Fame Studio.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah.
So, gosh, that had to be early 60s, I'm guessing, or when that building was constructed, or?
I have no idea. I just know he built it. Or he's on the construction team that built it.
Got it. So his hands were all over it.
Yeah.
That is so great. So, the people, I'm trying to build a following, and we bring things to people related around buying and selling homes. But Where Life Happens, that title came out of my mind and my heart about what goes on inside a home and how you make it home, how you create a sanctuary. And so we're going to talk about some of those things today. And I want to get your insight. You have a powerful story to share because, when I first met you, you and your husband were pastors. Was that not right? That was during that era, right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that time and where you were at, because we both had very small children at the time. And tell me what life looked like during those days.
Super busy. I went from doing marketing full time to just stopping that and pastoring a church. We planted the church, and so ground up, and we loved it. I mean, we were right down from the university, so we had a ton of young people, and I love young people. They keep me young, and we loved it. Now, I did go from cooking 4 or 5 times a week to not cooking. But we had so many really special times and special people and lifelong relationships that God just really moved in a really powerful way in our midst so many times. And just to have that experience, I feel like we experience things that some people go a lifetime and never experience.
Wow. Okay. Do you feel like you have a perfect example of that you would like to kind of unpack an experience?
Well, maybe not a specific experience, but just the way that, so we didn't have like a vision. We just felt God leading us to plant a church. We didn't have a grid for what it would look like. And so we let him build it, and he just drew the young people in, and they were radical and rough around the edges for the most part. And I remember my mom and my aunt used to say, y'all are going to have to talk to them. And we're like, no, they are passionately going after the Lord, and they may be rough around the edges, but that's God's job. It's you love them,
Sure.
do the rest, and he did. And I mean, what incredible men and women those young kids are today. It's just, it's incredible. And we didn't go after young people. That's just who he drew in.
Just who was brought to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like I would say, you don't want to go after, it's what is your niche? I guess it's whatever you attract.
Right.
So
Okay.
it's kind of that.
I do like that organic approach. You and I have both been coached by people through the years of our career, and they talk about defining who is your avatar. They love that word, and who are the buyers and sellers you feel like you can connect with the most. And I like the way things occur organically through your circle and the friends you make and the people that know you and already understand you. And, we don't have to try to put on, they already know how I talk. I have an accent and the way I behave. And
I don't have an
accent. Not at all. and just that people see how I behave a little differently than most men my age. I skew young in my brain. I just act a little silly at times and can be playful, but I know how to get work done, obviously. Right. There's no reason why you can't have fun at it at the same time.
Exactly.
So there was a gap there where you and I lost touch, and I am regretful of that, but just that's the way life happens, when you have your work family.
So, a million miles apart, and it just happens.
Yeah. And you have different work scenarios, and that you get a new work family and that kind of thing. But ours put some distance between us. So 2008, I was working with Christian publishers, and that's how we got to, hi, Louie. I forgot to introduce Louie.
Louie, say hi.
Louie is your comrade, your companion, your office assistant, and a sensation on the internet. Everybody loves Louie. So.
He literally jumps up and lays on the top of my desk while I work.
And he is totally comfortable being out on the boat and everywhere else that you travel. So he is living the life.
He loves driving the golf cart, driving the boat, driving the car.
With the Superman cape, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So, but because of that gap, that was 2008 when we moved 1,000 miles away with all the kids and the puppies and everything. And we came to Colorado, and we've been here ever since. Mm-hmm. But what was so great, and I remember this very well, we were home for a visit and shopping in Target in Florence. And all of a sudden I rounded a corner and there you were. And it was like we had not missed a beat. We just picked right back up.
Which is great, because I lost a lot of my memory when I was sick. Like I don't remember a lot of people and things, but definitely remembered you. And I was
so great
that I did.
Well, I do want to talk a bit about that. Because at that time, I knew there were some things going on with you and your husband, the dealing with the sickness. I didn't quite understand fully just how bad it was. Mm-hmm. And you gave me, you brought me up to speed, because here I am seeing you when you were on the upswing. You were in a good place. Mm-hmm. And I feel sorrowful that I had no idea just how bad it was. But the thing about all of that was you wrote a book about it, right?
I did.
And I have my copy right here. Beautiful Pieces by Marsha Clemons. And I want you to share a little bit about that journey of being so sick and thinking that all hope was lost. Mm-hmm. And to see where you are today is just simply miraculous. There is no other word for that.
It's 100% miraculous. Even the doctors say so. So it really is.
So great.
I remember.
Back.
I just, it started with me just knowing something was wrong, because I've always been very high energy. And I had no energy. I knew something was wrong. And it took me a while of saying something's wrong. But I was 45, and it's like, oh, it's probably your hormones. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's this. But finally, we did some blood work and discovered that my liver numbers were off the charts. And so they did a liver biopsy. And so it kind of started when Philip, my husband, and I went to the doctor to get the results when they called us in and told me I have a really rare liver disease. It's called primary biliary cholangitis and autoimmune hepatitis along with that. Now, since then, autoimmune diseases kind of one opens the door for another. And so
Wow.
today I have 7, but I'm not dying with anything. I'm living with it and thriving with it. But that day, Philip and I walked to the car, and I really believe a very pivotal moment. Is that right? Pivotal.
Yep. Yep. Very good.
A pivotal moment in the whole deal is when we walked to the car and we sat down. You know, we're walking to the car in silence, holding hands. And then we get in the car and Philip grabs my hand and he says, Marsha Clemons, you will live and not die, and we will see the goodness of God in the land of the living. And it took years.
Yeah.
It really took years, but we are eating the fruit of that declaration and that stance today.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe with everything in me, it set our course for victory.
Wow. What wisdom and faith on his part to not waste any time, to not, and I'm sure there were dark days where you were like,
oh,
man, we are so weak right now,
or
both of us. But he set the foundation immediately, from what it sounds like.
Yep, he did. And you know, even the times when he was wavering on the inside, he refused. Even when I wavered and was like, I'm tired, you know.
Yeah, right.
Even when I wavered, he did not. And when people would say, have you guys had the talk? And he was like, no, and we won't. And so even when I'm like, maybe we should have the talk, and he's like, no, we will not. And he was just my rock through all of it. Even when we went to Germany to the naturopath clinic and they told him, you need to research how to get a body back to the States because
gracious,
I'm not sure she can survive the flight at all because all my organs were already shutting down and everything. And they're like, especially her liver, we're not sure. So do some research so you know how to navigate if she doesn't survive.
Right. My goodness.
And he's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I mean, he just refused. And so it was, I mean, I couldn't have made it through it without him.
Right.
I believe the Lord healed me. I believe the doctors, the one in Florence that I saw for 2 or 3 years before I went to Germany, he kept me alive. Germany kept me alive. And then I went to White House, Tennessee to Dr. Rick Clifford. And I think his treatment is the one that brought me up off of my deathbed and got me to living again and thriving again. But it all worked together. And sure, was the main ingredient of all of it. I mean, yeah, obviously the Lord, but the Lord gave me Philip. So
right.
Him.
Now we'll talk a little bit about relationship too. I just want everyone to know, I know the story, but tell me when you two first met.
So we have been together. Like he became my boyfriend, asked me to be his girlfriend in the 5th grade. I was in the 5th grade. He was in the 7th.
Wow.
And we just celebrated our 40th wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
Well, I'm 58, and we've been together since I was 10 years old.
Wow.
The 48 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
And where were you living at that time?
In Florence. or
Yeah.
Greenville, just outside of Florence.
So, so it's truly a Sweet Home Alabama storyline without the gap in between. There was no separation, right?
Right. I mean, maybe a little here and there through high
Yeah.
school, but we always ended up right back together.
I want to talk about, you and I deal with a lot of clients, home life and that kind of thing. And I guess I should back up. So you came out of all of this, the pastoring era kind of drifted away. That became totally different for you both, right?
Well, yeah, during my sickness, we had incredible support from our church. I mean, people would just get together and pray, pray, and pray. But it was a 7-year battle.
Wow.
So during that, and so many times, it looked like I was not going to win. And people got weary and tired, and everything got harder and harder and harder. And we were all exhausted. And we kind of say it like this. Philip does, and I'm like, yes, that's exactly it. It wasn't just me on life support. It was everything and everybody around me. Everybody was on life support by the end.
Right.
And so when I started coming out of it, we're like, okay, we need a breather. And Philip said, during my sickness, let me back up. If he could get me laying in the back seat and get me to the beach, I would perk up. Now, I didn't feel like walking on the beach or going to dinner, but I would sit on the balcony and have a conversation, where at home, most days I didn't even have conversations. I was just there. So we talked about what would it look like if we moved here to complete my healing and to get both of us refreshed from all the trauma, and just it was just indescribable what we walked through. And so that's what we did. We felt like, we're like, okay, Lord, this is what we're feeling like we want to do. We believe that the desire you put in our heart are your desires, but if this is not you, stop. We trust you to stop us. Don't let us. And it was like every step of the way, it felt like he just rolled out a red carpet. Honestly, we've been here 7 years and it feels like the carpet is still rolled out. It's just, I've said this even recently. I feel like I'm still living the rest of my miracle. Like, it wasn't just the healing, it's how he has redeemed our entire life.
Yeah, and I see that.
There's nothing untouched. Like, nothing untouched. Our finances, we spent every ounce of retirement. We refinanced our house a couple of times just because I ended up, the medical part of it was not, I wasn't responding to it. My body didn't respond. So I did it all naturally, and insurance didn't cover anything. We drained everything we ever even hoped to have.
Right.
And so nothing was left intact except our marriage. I mean, that's really it. Took a toll on our church, took a toll on our friends. I mean, it was just hard. And so we had to kind of regroup, and Philip said, you know what? We've spent 25 years taking care of everyone else. And I, as your husband, right now, the only thing that matters to me is taking care of you. And that's what I'm going to do. And so that's when we said, okay, Lord, we're going to move here. We feel like that's where I'm the healthiest. So what we're going to do, if it's not you, if you're not in agreement with it, stop us. And we're still trucking.
Now, I know this about you. You proved to me when we were in sales together, I honestly think you could sell snow cones to Eskimos, because you are just so relational, and you're the way your mind operates, and you connect the dots, and you make it easy for people to come to connection with whatever the product is you're selling, as long as you believe in it. you can find a way, because you were successful in my mind. I watched you. I watched how people responded to you, how you don't get rattled. You could think on your feet and all those. That is truly a gift. So tell me, who put the idea in your mind of becoming a real estate agent, or is it something you've always thought about?
Never thought about it. Never once considered it. And our friends, Gary and Christy Sparks, when we first moved down here, they kept coming to visit a lot because,
Yeah.
they loved us and they loved the beach.
And
So
we all love them. They're fantastic.
yes. And I'm like, just a couple of months in, I'm like, I'm going to have to decide what I want to do when I grow up. And and they're like, you should do real estate. You love looking at all the condos. And because we were trying to find somewhere to live, we were renting a condo at that point. And I was like, I could try it. And, that's literally how I was about it. I could try it.
Right.
And another part of the miracle, I still couldn't read and comprehend. Still had a lot thick brain fog and brain atrophy.
Wow.
And would like be talking and just lose what I was saying and couldn't remember things. And somehow I got my real estate license in a month.
Yeah.
I mean, straight miracle. I didn't even realize what a miracle it was at the time, but now I know what a miracle it was.
Right.
And I mean, I had my license. I went to one meeting and then the quarantine hit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow, I don't know anyone. I don't know the area except for where we vacationed. We had our little vacation touristy spots and that's
right.
it.
Because maybe people don't realize it's very different down there.
Yes.
And the way they label the areas, like you've got Gulf Shores 1, Gulf Shores 2, and all these things.
Yes.
It was a lot to pick up, I'm sure.
Yeah. And so I was like, I don't know the area. I don't know people. I definitely don't know real estate. So that's when I hired an online real estate coach.
Okay.
And I needed something to fill my time to feel like I was actually doing something with my real estate license. So I did that for a couple of months, and that was so God and such a huge blessing, because never in a million years would I have ever considered starting a team before I really even knew how to do real estate myself.
You see, that's what the thing I admire about you. You're like, I'm going to figure this out. And if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it at a high level. And
if I'm going to fail, I'm going to still trying. So,
right.
So yeah, I just right out of the gate, I started a team, and I think that was the Lord too. I needed to surround myself with people because I have to have an outlet to love on people, to pour into people. It's just in my DNA. It's in my calling. So I have to be able to help people. So at that point, I didn't have clients to help yet. So I helped agents. And so it was just perfect for me. And, I still have a team and absolutely adore it. I just,
And they adore you. I'm sure they are just so incredibly blessed to have you, because I've seen many, many different team models, and sometimes even under the same roof of a brokerage, because they take on the DNA of the leader, and that's the way companies work. And a lot of people don't realize that you and we are independent contractors.
Mm-hmm.
The government's, categorizes us, we're 1099 employed, and you get to build your business the way you want to build it. The product is the same. Some of the people may be the same. The process works the same for everybody, but how you approach it can be uniquely you. And you've done so well at that. I mean, I have so enjoyed watching your success. you can't help but engage and love on people. You have to have community, and God designed us that way. And I think you are such a living example of how to go about that. And
I think you're a little biased. I really do.
well, I've known you for a little while, and I keep people like you close to me because it keeps me encouraged about what is possible, what
You're
can.
so good at that. And I thank you. And I thank you again, because I'm not good at that. I'm a very in the moment person. I mean, like if I ever went on a trip with my mom, Philip would call and say, "Hey, are you ever going to call me?" Because I'm in the moment, and
Right.
where I am is where I am. And so I'm not great to reach out, but you are so faithful to keep our friendship intact. And I'm so thankful for that.
Well, I appreciate that. And I've learned, what's that?
That's a gift
Thank you.
that I do
Well,
not this.
I have learned, we learn about ourselves as we get older, and, where I can criticize myself for not being like the total and complete expert on a topic, because there's always somebody better. Somebody always knows more than you, someone that does things better than you. But what I do know about myself, I'm a facilitator and I'm a connector. And when I think of someone, say Marsha Clemons, oh, they have to meet that person because I want to get them two together. They could really help each other in their business and relationships or whatever. And though I may not be a complete expert on, theology and politics and all these things, I can sit down and get people to have a conversation, and bring, at least set the environment, for that to occur.
Yes.
And I love places that bring people together. Things that, like the hum of a coffee shop, when there's noise in the background, people are having conversations, those things give me life.
Yeah.
And I like to do things like that. Most of my meetings occur in coffee shops, and
Mine too.
people know that from me watching all of my posts about the local shop that just opened,
Mm.
and we live in such a high density city. I literally have at least 6 coffee shops within walking distance from my home, and I walk like a 3-mile radius. So I'm active. I love to get out. And so anyway, that's just something that people have pointed out about me, that what's your next find? Where are you going to appear next?
Yeah. I love that. And it keeps us all watching too.
Yeah. And so, and our homes can become places like that as well. That's why I called this podcast Where Life Happens. It's where are we? And you and I have raised children. So the sanctuary that we had when they were all little babies, it felt different than it does today. And I'm curious about your scenario when you were really down and out and you were so weak. What did your sanctuary look like in those days, and what did you have to have available and necessary for you to survive and build back?
Well, that's a good question, and I did write about it. What I had to have was silence and nobody around me.
Mhm.
And I think that's because I'm such an extrovert that if somebody's in the room, I feel like I have to be engaging because I want to. That's what my heart is. And somebody being in the room with me magnified the fact that I couldn't communicate or engage, that I didn't have the life force in me to have a conversation. But it would be kind of a torment to me to be able to lay there and not be able
Right.
to communicate or love on somebody. So as much as lonely as I was and isolated as I was, I still wanted to be alone. I know that's weird.
Yeah. Right.
So,
Maybe more of the physical requires that.
As much as sanctuary then, when you said sanctuary, it gave me a warm feeling because all through the years, people would come to our house in Florence and say, there's like a vortex right here. I don't want to leave. Your house is so peaceful. It's like once you get here, you get sucked into the peace. It just feels so
Wow.
well. We heard it over and from all ages, all walks of life. People would talk about how peaceful our home was. Well, here we are now in Orange Beach, and we hear the same thing. People
Good.
say the same thing. It's just kind of mind blowing to me that people pick up on the peace that's inside of us,
Right.
what it is. It's like we're a thermostat, not a thermometer, and we're
Yep.
setting the peace in the house, and people pick up on it and feel it and gravitate to it. And
Sure.
that's my sanctuary, the peace on the inside. So wherever I am.
Yep.
So you're meaning it as a household. I don't even know. We're empty nesters. We love it. We just put a pool in, and like it's getting cold before we can really even use it. We're already like ready for the summer. And of course, we will have our kids a lot and everything, but
Right.
yeah, we just enjoy being outside. We enjoy being on the golf cart. We enjoy Louis a lot, probably more
Yeah.
than we should. We enjoy going on the boat. We do that quite a bit. And
Right.
Louis always goes with us, and the boys do sometimes. So,
Right.
but yeah, that's our sanctuary, is just our
Togetherness. Yeah. That is a great way to put it. So that sanctuary follows you no matter where you're at. If you're out of state on another vacation or something and visiting family, it just goes with you. That's great. I love that. I really, really love that. So before we leave the book, I want to talk about some other things, but if you could share one highlight out of the book, and you're going to laugh. You see these? I have highlighted and marked all through here, just little things that you said. But if you could bring one thing to people, like you want them to get this from who you are and take with them after they leave this podcast today, what would that be?
Well, when you feel like you don't have faith, because I got to the point I didn't feel like I had faith, but then I had the revelation that the author and finisher of my faith was inside me. So his faith carried me. My faith may not have at times.
Gotcha. Okay.
And, my peace, he says, my peace I give you. Well, I didn't feel peaceful a lot of the time, but now hindsight, I see where peace was there, where faith was there.
Right.
My weakness, he was strong for peace when I needed peace. When my weakness, he was faith when I needed faith. And so people are like, I remember when I couldn't do all the things I thought I was supposed to do, get up and pray and worship and read my Bible, and I couldn't do anything. I couldn't stand to even hear worship music.
Right.
I was like, oh no, I'm going to die because I can't perform. I would have thought I wasn't religious. But all of a sudden, when I realized, I was thinking, I'm going to die because I can't do the things I need to do to get him to heal me.
Right.
But I got to know a new facet of him that didn't need me to do one thing. He didn't even really need me to believe in that moment, because deep down I already believed, and that couldn't be taken away from me. I was not believing in my emotions and my feelings, but in the root of it all, I believed, period. And that's all he needed. And the way I got to know him then, it's like he was so near. In the worst times, he was so near. When I did not feel him at all, he was so near. I felt like he was weeping with us, crawling to the bathroom. If Philip wasn't there, if somebody wasn't there, I was so weak. Sometimes I had to crawl to the bathroom. I feel like he crawled with me. I mean, and I don't know, people would say, well, why didn't he just give you the strength to walk?
Right.
And I don't know the answer to that, but I know that I got to know him on a level that would get down and belly crawl with me.
Wow.
And that was more in that moment than somebody that would hold me up and walk. If that makes sense. It makes sense in my heart and in my emotions and in my belief. Like it means everything to me.
Right. Well, it's I like the way you brought that up about, I did highlight that on the book about, I want to try and give you my 2020 hindsight so that it becomes your foresight. And don't we do that with our own kids? Like if we can help them avoid a speed bump or a pothole in the road or something painful, we want to at least try to do that. And God does that for us and loves us so much. And sometimes we are stubborn and we still just have to learn on our own. Not that you were stubborn or anything. You were facing a real challenge that was no fault of your own. It just appeared. And
Which
just
makes you want to question and wonder and get angry and be why me and all the things. You go through every single emotion.
Sure.
I learned is it's okay. You know, I talked about it in the book. I ran into somebody at one point when all of my organs were shutting down. I'm getting ready to go to Germany to try to not die.
Right.
And they, the only reason I'm out of my house is getting stuff to go on the trip and to appease my mom because she thought it was going to be the last day she would be with me.
Certainly. Yeah.
And this person said, "How are you?" And I was, you know, glazed over in a thick fog. And I just kind of looked, trying to even come up with words because I just wasn't with it, you know. And she said, "Just say I'm okay." And I'm like, "I'm okay," you know. But that, man, that has given me so much to encourage people with. No, you don't have to say I'm okay. God does not require, that's not faith. That's not faith. When you know what's happening and you just say, I'm okay, that's fake.
Yeah.
You know, that's not what having what you say looks like. You know, it's when you know you're dying, say, well, this is what I'm experiencing, but this is what God says. This is the truth, and this is what I'm going for. This is what I'm believing for and holding on to. Yeah.
Very good. So before we leave it, so where can you get the book? How do you order the book?
Just Beautiful Pieces by Marsha Clemons.
Got it. Available on Amazon. Order a copy. You'll be blessed by it. And as you can tell, I took notes. So okay.
Yeah, I really I took a while publishing. Like I let it sit on the shelf for years. Literally years. And then I felt this incredible unction from the Lord. It's time to print.
There was some urgency. Yeah.
So I did. And then I was so all up in getting it published and getting it ready for print because that was no small task.
Yeah.
And that I was kind of letting real estate drop a little. And I'm like, wait, I've got to do this. And what I realized about myself is I'm very single-minded.
Okay.
So I pulled away. I got it published, didn't promote it, didn't do anything, pulled away from it, and was real estate.
Right.
And just recently, the Lord is like, you can be single focused. Your brand, your mission, your purpose is your book and real estate, and it's all one. It's one and same because it's all helping people. It's all giving people hope, helping people build a better life, helping people create a life they love will come from your story, from your testimony,
right?
Helping them in real estate. So I separated it in my mind. I thought it was two separate things, but just recently the Lord's like, no, I want you to do both, and they're both one. You're single focused, building your brand, helping people with your book and your real estate.
Perfect. Yeah. And I love that. Our factions is that right? The right word of our life should come together, and they
Yes.
all operate together and support one another.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have faith, that should be the undergirding of everything you are about and what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So I am so grateful and blessed by your story and the encouragement, what you bring to the real estate community. Our industry needs you, no lie. And I know you are focused, where I tell you what's going on in a headline, and there's so much swirling around this industry, that I can get distracted and I get concerned or I begin to worry or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
buddy, you just focus. You're like, I'm sorry, I don't have time for that. I've got people to take care of. And that's just a wonderful thing. And the way you are able to do that.
Well, it's a lot
Commend you
of
for it.
personality. I mean, I just don't focus on all the noise.
Right.
I can't focus on all the noise. Like I just said, I'm single focused. If I focus on the noise,
Yeah.
that's going to be what I'm focused on. So
Sure.
I just don't. I trust if it's something huge that I need to know, my husband will tell me. Otherwise, I'm just going to help
Right.
myself.
Right. Gotcha. So you've been down the Gulf Coast for your entire career.
Yes. Yeah.
You and I both hold licenses there. So I'm licensed in Baldwin County. It's a beautiful area. You've got suburban, you've got farmland, you've got sandy white beaches. It's got it all. I mean, there's so
Yes.
much to appreciate there. And the affordability of the homes off beach, you can live in a beautiful subdivision, I think, very affordably.
Yes.
And be 20 minutes away from the sand and the ocean and the surf. I should say the Gulf. It's not the ocean, but it's just an incredible place. And sometimes I get a little jealous. And remember, I'm here in the Rocky Mountains.
Gorgeous.
We have spectacular days, and it's just gorgeous sunshine, and the views are awesome. But it's expensive. The average price point here is in the mid 500s, and it was not like that when we moved here 17 years ago. It was in the twos. So things have definitely changed, just as they have down where you are as well. Tell me about, you got an amazing experience, and I know there's so much I want to cover. We've got to wrap it up. You actually got to record an episode of House Hunters on HGTV, did you not?
I did.
I was
fun.
I was so proud of you.
I always say I want a do-over because, on the inside, I was so nervous. I didn't know what to expect. So I felt really awkward. And so now, having done that, I want to do it again because I will not be so nervous. I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus, I've grown a lot in a couple of years.
Absolutely.
I've had to do a lot of videos and stuff, so I'm not nervous on camera anymore. And back then, boy, I was nervous as a cat. But I cherish that experience. And so many people stop me in Home Goods or places and say, did I see you on TV? I saw you on HGTV, and that is kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, I think it's amazing, and whatever you can share about that process, how the selection process worked, because there's a lot of seasoned agents down there, very, very high volume. They've been doing it for 20, 25 years. And here comes Marsha Clemons, and everybody just fell in love with you. It was just so great. But what can you share about that? I know it's very quiet when it's happening. Yeah. You can't talk about it.
Right. But, yeah. And, I would love to say that they found my profile and were just wowed by it. But the truth is, they found a property that was mine.
Oh, okay.
Reached out to me and said, do you think you would want to do a show around this property? And which was the one that inevitably was chosen. And I was like, yes, absolutely. So it was fun.
Yeah. And you had great buyers. They were from Michigan, I believe.
And they are dear friends today.
Yeah. And because you eventually sold that property for them, right? and stayed in touch, and you nurtured that relationship and kept that intact. That's great. So
they are incredible. So now when they come down for vacation, we always spend time together.
that's so great.
Love
Yeah,
them.
perfect. Well, that's very cool. You know, I know people out here that have been on HGTV as well, and it's interesting how that all comes together. So I hope you do get to do that again. So, and it will be in your very near future. So, what else? Gosh, you're home now. You have you've got a beautiful home, and I'm just amazed at how much home you can get down there for the price. And you just put in a gorgeous pool, like you mentioned. So that's a huge win. And I know you have planned and you've worked hard, and I couldn't wish more success on a more deserving couple than you two right there.
You're so
And well, for the friends you have too, and you at the time of this recording, you are with Marmac, which is a large brokerage in the entire state of Alabama.
Yes.
Because we have friends there in North Alabama, where my in-laws lived in Central Alabama. There's a Marmac brokerage there, and you guys lucked out and got to launch the one there in Orange Beach. So
yes. Yeah, the very friends that came to visit and talked me into doing real estate, Gary and Christy Sparks, a year later moved down here and opened up the first brokerage for Marmac. So
perfect.
He's the managing broker. Yeah. And so he became my broker. We were their pastors, and now they're my brokers. It's just you can't script how God moves and what he does and what he has planned. You can't. It's just so beautiful.
New career, new environment. Got to keep some of your dearest friends in your daily routine.
I literally feel like he sent them just to bless us. Like, it wasn't for them. It wasn't for any of the other people that it was all for us. Not really, I'm joking. But I mean, it kind of felt that way in the moment. Like, wow, how in the world?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you want? What else would you like for people to leave with today? What kind of encouragement? You have 5 seconds with me. What do you want me to know?
I want you to know that there is life on the other side of dark seasons, that dark seasons have an expiration date, and there can be really good, beautiful life after that, that it's never too late. You're not too old. You're not too sick. You're not too far gone. You're not too deep in addiction. You're not too deep, close to divorce or post-divorce, that there's nothing, that there's not a beautiful life to follow.
I'm very encouraged by that. And I'm sure anyone listening to this will be as well.
Because I mean, you wouldn't have ever thought in a million years, when I was literally laying there dying, that our life would be completely different and utterly beautiful.
I'm so happy for you. That's awesome. Well, you are my partner. You've got everyone covered there in the Gulf Coast area of Alabama, which is a beautiful stretch of beach, Orange Beach, Gulf Shores, Fort Morgan, and everything in between.
Yeah,
all the way down.
I get to do what I do here. I just
Well, I hope people can find you again, Marsha Clemons, down on the Gulf Coast. Find you on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere you look. They should not be able to not find you. So,
yes.
Well, thank you again. You have definitely blessed me, and anyone that gets a hold of this recording. I appreciate you being here. I know you're busy.
Thank you. And I've loved it. I love it. I love you, and I love what you're doing. I love this podcast. And I believe in you equally. So thank you.